appreciate it, Justin. You know, first off, I just want to say thanks to Justin for doing the things that he's been doing the last couple of weeks. I think it's great to give an avenue for the different coaches out there, especially as we're sitting down and we're all thinking about the future, what the future holds. But anytime you can help anybody as far as like he has, I think it's great. With the clinics, you know, what I started going to clinics back in 2008 when I second year in the coaching, and I've been going to trying to do clinics since then as far as trying to get to just a little piece. And something somebody told me was that if you can learn one thing, then it was a great clinic. So I don't profess to know it all, and you know, again, these are just suggestions, not a guru at all. But I hope that if I can help you coach a little bit better, or a technique, or a philosophy or something, I hope I can do that. So, like you said, just real quick, I'm the pass game coordinator, wide receiver coach with the Edmonton Eskimos of the CFL, and you know, my motto has been football plays are nothing but the extension of football drills. Usually, when I do a clinic, I ask guys. So again, it's good to not. Hopefully, I can keep moving so that I don't extend it too long into the next guy there, Justin, and be able to get out of my time. But football plays nothing but the extension of football drills. I think that's huge, and so get to work is our motto. The motto I've carried the last couple years. Just something about the Edmonton Eskimos. You can see there on the screen. You know, they are the most successful franchise in the CFL, and a lot of people don't know that. And founded back in 1949, which is amazing. And you know, they're known for their green and gold colors, kind of like the Packers, and been a successful organization, of 14-time Grey Cup champion, and historically won 5 in a row. And there's a story on Football Life about Warren Moon and about his travels, and that's probably how everybody knows what the Edmonton Eskimos is about. But to win 5 straight Grey Cup championships, that's like the Super Bowl up here, is commendable. And then Henry Gizmo Williams, the guy that you see right here, thing about him is that he's probably, we talk about Devin Hester, we talk about Mel Gray, and I'm a former returner myself, and he's one of the best returners of all time. And I can tell you, one of his biggest stats, he had 23 or 26 returns called back, and that's unbelievable. And I'm sad to say, I won't say sad to say, I'm happy to say that in Edmonton history, I'm second all time behind him on some things, but I am way behind. I gotta go back in the womb and come back out, and go back in the womb and come back out again. But and then Hugh Campbell also, he's been the president, part of those Grey Cups, and while I was here in Edmonton, was fortunate enough to go to 2 of those and won 1, and he was also the head coach with the Houston Oilers and took Warren Moon. So just about myself, just quickly, I went to the University of Richmond. I was a four-time 4-year starter, 4-time all-conference player, defensive back, and a returner. Ended up playing professionally as a DB for 2 years with the Montreal Alouettes. The Washington Redskins signed me, and then moved me to wide receiver, which was a blow to my confidence, at least I thought, but it actually was one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me, because it helped shape my paradigm. And so I ended up getting cut because I wasn't good enough, and then ended up going back. That's when I ended up with the Edmonton Eskimos for the next 4.5 years, and then I got into coaching with VMI, 2 years as a DB coach, and then after that moved to wide receiver passing coordinator. Then 14 through 17, I was with the College of William Mary, and then 2 years in Ottawa, 2018, and then 2019, part of the year I was a play caller there in 2019, and then now I'm the passing coordinator here in Edmonton. And I can't tell you things I've learned, a lot of mentors that I've had over time. I'm so grateful to have those men in my life. What you see in front of you is some things that some stuff that I've been part of. Fortunate enough, Mario Price with the AFCA. We did a podcast about 2 months ago. You can listen to that, and I can tell you, even if you don't listen to mine, they do a really good job of interviewing people. And then I have some other drills and stuff on coachtube.com. You can watch that. And then a friend of mine, David Porter, actually told me about the Coach's Choice. Fortunate enough to speak at the AFCA convention this past year, and I guess they're selling this Coach's Choice between $30 and $50. I didn't know that, but I do. If you down there, I do have my contact information. If you do contact me, I can give you that link and also potentially give you some other things that's part of Coach's Choice. I think they have a promo going on until the end of the month. I know it's trying time right now. We're all trying to figure out what's going on, but this is awesome to be able to share with you some of my suggestions and things that I've learned. This right here is, so I'll dial into it and with all that other stuff. Sorry, it took so long talking about that. This right here is an awesome quote. Beautiful look there of the our stadium, Commonwealth Stadium, hosts 66,000 fans. If you took one person out of the puzzle, if you took one person out of the puzzle, we wouldn't have the confidence to do the job we did. Everybody's vital. It's not about the guy who pulled the trigger to kill bin Laden. It's about what we all did together. That's one of the guys that helped go get bin Laden. And every year in my wide receiver room, I've been fortunate enough to be around some head coaches that have a lot of humility and gives me an opportunity to kind of mold the guys into have our own individual commitment that can add to the overall commitment of the team. And I think that's big. That quote right there is huge because that's an anonymous, one of the anonymous guys. But more than anything else, how much time do they take practicing that one moment? And that's what I take from that. Depending on each other, and it's just like what we do in practice. How many times have we run plays or done a drill just for us to be able to call that play potentially one time out of 60 plays, or now air raid, fast-paced offense, 70, 80 plays. I've heard guys say they've run 100, but you run that play one time and you got to get it right. So it's the same thing, and being able to depend on the guy next to you is a big thing. That's important to me, and I try to make sure that that's important to our players. So the goal for our receivers, right? I've learned, evolved a little bit, but our goal, I have three simple goals for my guys, and really the goal is simple, and I want them to be consistent in the run game. Okay, so what that means is this: if you don't have the football, then you are a blocker. Period. Full stop. No conversation. Now I'm realizing when I was younger, I used to laugh at my coaches, call them old timer or whatever. But now I guess old time hashtag non-negotiable is what I tell the guys. And then the pendulum in the pass game. What that means to me is you don't need to make some extraordinary catch. You just need to make all catch all catchable balls. That's all I ask guys to do, while giving great effort. What's awesome about this is that that's my job to work on those two, the first two, and it's the player's job to work on the last one because I don't coach effort. I refuse to coach effort. Fortunate enough now to be in the pros where, excuse me, we can cut you if you don't want to give the right effort. You know what I'm saying? And there's enough guys that's willing to give the right effort. But even on the college level, you know, having that individual commitment within yourself to the overall unit has to be more important than your own personal gain. So I'm big on that. Somebody's going to have to convince me that you need to coach effort. That comes from within. That comes from your why. But that's that. You see FICA up there. So what FICA is very simple for us. When you get a job or you go and you're trying to get a credit card or you're trying to get a house or whatever, they look at the bank or your loan officer is going to look at your FICO score. And so that's essentially what I tell the receivers. I say, you know, when people look at you on film, that's our FICA, man. That's our FICA. You know, we start off, I have this list of FICO, exactly what FICA is, exactly like this. And at the top of it, I put on there your will to prepare to win has to be bigger than your will to win. And if we're able to do that as a unit, like I talked about with that quote at the very beginning, then we should be successful. So easy, FICA. You know, I'm big on acronyms. You know, the F for fundamentals. You know, football plays are nothing but the extension of football drills. When I got with the Washington Redskins, Richard Mann, who's one of my mentors, you know, put me out there, and at that time I was going against Darrell Green, Champ Bailey, Fred Smoot, and at the time Prime was making the decision if he was coming back or not. So you got to imagine how starstruck I was, thinking that, man, they're signing me, I'm going to be a DB, and then they move me over on the other side of the locker room. And I was like, are you kidding me? You mean to tell me I got to go up against Hall of Famers? And Richard Mann, who I love to death, and I'm going to tell you, I owe so much to him, said that technique will always beat skill. Technique will always beat skill. Technique will always beat skill. And I remember the very first day I went out there, and I ran a slant against Darrell Green. We all know what a slant is, a 3-step slant. And I went 1, 2, 3, stuck with that outside foot, came across at a 45-degree angle. Darrell Green yelled slant, intercepted the ball, ran back about 15 yards, gave me the ball and said, hey, look, don't give it away so easy. And I just remember Richard Mann called me over and said, man, I like you, man, but I love my family. You don't focus on these fundamentals, and you don't do what I'm coaching you to do, then I'm gonna get you cut. So anyway, make a long story short, you gotta work your craft. Every day you go outside. Every time you come in that meeting room, you know, you gotta work your craft. You gotta be dialed in. You know, you gotta be given that big time effort. So that's the big thing on fundamentals. Intensity. I don't know if you could tell, you know, I'm in my house, but man, I coach with intensity. I coach with intensity because I want you to play with intensity. I want your practices to be harder than the games. I want you to hate me in practice. I want you to say, man, this guy right here, I don't understand why he keeps talking to me. Why does he keep putting me in these stupid drills? Why? I just don't understand this. Because you know why? Because I want you in the game. I want you to play with that intensity, because that's what's going to carry you over. And then confidence. You know, confidence comes from preparation. But more than anything else, confidence comes from positive outcomes. And when I say that, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that you have to put your players in a position where they can be successful. You know, there's a saying that I heard a long time ago, and I don't agree with it. And right, wrong, or indifferent, you know, but I believe I heard this saying that it's not about what you know, coach. It's about what the player knows. And to me, as a former player and now as a coach, I don't believe that to be true. What I believe to be true, and we're talking about confidence now, is that it's really not about what I know. It's really not about what the player knows. It's about, does that player have enough confidence in his skill set to execute the plan? That is what's most important. Because if that player does not feel confident in his own skill set to execute the plan, then he is not going to be able to give his best effort. He's not going to be able to play like he did when he was in sixth grade, like when the game didn't have as much pressure. And so I say that to say this, you know, every year you're learning. My daughter, I have a new saying that I picked up last year. My daughter, I'd be going to the office, and we were having spring meetings and mini camps, and my daughter like, Dad, can we take the training wheels off my bike? And I was like, no, because I want to wait. I want to until we're done with mini camp. She just kept for like 3 days. She just kept saying it every time I was walking out the house. And I remember we were off early, and I said, okay, stop asking me about taking these training wheels off. And she was like, Daddy, listen. And my daughter just turned 6. And so you're always learning. She said, if you take the training wheels off and you give me 3 tries, if I fall, then keep the training wheels on. I was like, what? Well, where does this art of negotiation come from? So I'm a little nervous about when she gets older and she starts asking me for keys or for money. Anyway, so we go outside, and on the very first try, I don't have the video. My wife has it. She rode that bike without training wheels. And my wife looked at me and said, see, she was confident in her own ability to keep that bike up. You weren't. So, boom, that opened up my eyes, meaning this, is that it's important that we take the training wheels off on our players. Don't hold them back. Don't hold them back. If they say they feel like they can do it, let them try it. Let them try it. If they want to try a different move and it's different than what you've been coaching, let them try it. You know, but if it's not successful, let's go back and put the training wheels back on. But that's what this thing's about. Because what happens sometimes, us as coaches, we get caught up in our own philosophy and we forget that this game is about the players. And it's really about us being servants to help them. And that's why I got into this business. And then assignment pride. Assignment pride is understanding where you fit. Understanding where you fit is also goes back to that confidence where you can still explain to a young man, hey, you're probably not going to get 100 balls in this offense because you're best at this. Or, hey, you're going to get 100 balls in this offense because you are best at this. And assignment pride, I think, goes both ways. And when I say both ways, I'm talking about when you're in that classroom, it's important that you give those players the why. Because today's players is different than when I played and when a lot of my mentors played. They can Google you. You talk about, all right, so I think I want to find a different release. You know, they'll Google that right now. There's tons of people talking about release. You know, so, and if they don't like what you have to say, then they're going to go somewhere else and learn it from somewhere else. So my point that I'm trying to say is that it's very important that it goes both ways, because with receivers, I'm biased, obviously, but I also play defensive back, so I have a different thought process. Receivers, I feel like, have sometimes the hardest opportunities as far that you have a good segment as far as being able to teach them so that they can play faster. All right. So with our group, I talked about kind of like how do you get these guys to really focus on and to be dialed in all the time. Essentially, as a coach, this is how I feel. Again, this is my suggestion. I feel like we're teachers, and you got to be a good teacher. You got to be enthusiastic. You got to be approachable, and then you got to be a really good mentor to these guys. And to me, that's what team is. All right. So team acronym. You know, when you were younger, you know, in Pee Wee used to say, "Oh, together everyone accomplishes more." And yes, that's true. But this is what I believe in. And as for players, what I would like them to be, our group, I tell them, let's be tenacious, let's be energetic, let's be aggressive. And when I say aggressive, I'm not talking about go out and get in a fight every 5 seconds. I'm talking about be aggressive about your goals. Be aggressive about how you see yourself in this offense. And it's okay for that player to say, man, I want to catch 1,000 yards. Because if I have a whole group thinking that they can catch 1,000 yards, then that means that that effort is going to be there, which is going to motivate everybody to play better. And then as the triangle goes, I think about a big triangle is that we all got to be able to trust each other. We got to be able to encourage each other. We got to be able to accept each other's differences, and then we got to maximize each other's skills. And what's important about that is this, that we all have stuff going on in our lives. And one thing that if you ever talk to any receivers that I've coached, we say leave our egos at the door, even me. Man, I got this hat on because I'm really holding on to my hairline. But when I go in that meeting, I take the hat off. You know, I think with the quarantine and Corona, I think I'm able to have my hat on and be able to have my I can't go to the barber right now. But man, when we walk in there, I mean, if they want to call me Flavor Flav, I'm good with that. But you better be ready for me to call you George Jefferson if you look like George Jefferson. You know what I mean? But that's what you got to do. You got to be able to get the players to feel comfortable enough that they can come and talk to you because they just broke up with their girlfriend or something drastic happened in their family and they're just not up to it. You know, I think that's important. And then at the end of the day, it's all about success. It's all about success. That's how we get success. That's how wins happen. And so what I have here is my group, my different groups that I've coached over the years. The big thing with these guys, I'm move a little faster, Coach Justin, sorry. Big thing with these guys is that with these pictures, man, you see a lot of laughter, a lot of fun that we had in our room. What's cool about this is that this guy right here was a defensive end, all right, and wasn't playing. This guy right here was told he's going to be a tight end. Both of them ended up being all-conference players. This guy played in the NFL. You've seen him in the XFL. This guy right here went to the Chiefs. This guy right here went to the Steelers. This guy right here could have went to Baltimore, decided he was going to go make some money in some hedge fund money. So he's a smart dude. This group right here, I won't bother you with all the other things there, but this guy here is playing in the CFL. I actually played with Red Black last year. What makes me really happy is that this young man here is now coaching, wants to get into college. These two guys right here are currently coaching. Those type of things warms your heart when you have different groups of players that can do more than just say, hey, I'm just going to go to the NFL. And you can see there the happiness. Now, let's talk about process of learning. I'll be a little bit faster here. The process of learning, I talk about ICE. So information, you know, what we're doing what I'm doing right now, presenting this, you know, it's playbooks, it's position manuals. That's what the players can easily read and understand. Then they go in and they have the knowledge. And with the knowledge, that's where the meetings come. And we're doing it right now. I appreciate you taking your time to listen to me here with this clinic. And that's where they learn the why. And then the experience is the practice. And that's where we come in. And I've gotten into some really good conversations where some people have said, no, well, the experience is really up to the player. But that's where I feel like, well, that's where we have to be really good teachers to make sure that we make the playbook and the techniques that we're teaching make the players want to come back. Make them want to come back, make them want to enjoy that experience. And then skill. Once you're able to go through all those things, that's when the fun starts. That's when skill happens. That's when the muscle memory happens. And that's the fun part. Because if you ever think about the fact that when you first grew up and your parents, right now I have a 6 and 2-year-old, and I'm teaching 2-year-olds how to put her pants on, and I'm telling her, okay, put your left leg in, and she's going and she's putting her left leg in the right side, and she's struggling, and teaching how to brush her teeth or anything like that. But now that you're older, man, you can do that with your eyes closed. That's because you got the information, you got the knowledge, you had enough experience, you had enough reps of it that you essentially have made that a muscle memory. Now you can go and be a little bit more advanced, like you crawled before you walked, you crawled before you ran, you walked. So it's the same thing. But just real quick, love this IHOP story. Be a little faster. So my wife and I, when we were dating, would go to IHOP. Now, I'm not saying IHOP has, this is a bad time to be talking about stuff like this, about things being dirty. But when we were dating, she would get upset that her side of her cup always had could potentially be dirty. And so I'm a solution guy, not a problem guy. So my thought process is that there's more people in the world that's right-handed. So I said, well, why don't we just go ahead and drink always from the left side? And if you see me, I always drink now with my left hand, to the point that our staff sometimes thought that I was left-handed. But from the time that I was in college and I met my wife back in 1998, we drink with our left hand, to the point that we teach our daughters to drink with the left hand. The reason being is because we're less susceptible to get that lipstick stain on that thing. How does that pertain to football? Easy. It pertains to football because the more reps you get, the more reps you get, the better. Richard Mann said this to me. He said the great player is not always the one with the most skill, but the one that anticipates the fastest. Meaning this, you only can anticipate when you know you're fundamentally sound. So you have to have anticipation with excitement. So today, what I talked about, I was going to talk about groupings of top of the route. And so we talk about, I'm going to just go through this real fast, ASTIs. And the things with ASTIs is we tell the receivers, assignment. That knowledge gives you opportunity. And I learned that from Marty Schottenheimer when I was with the Washington Redskins. The more you know, the better. So know your assignment. In your assignment tells your alignment. And then you have your stance and your start. And with your stance and start, that's when you play the game. That's when you play the game. That's when you're able to see that leverage of the corner and what kind of release I'm gonna get. I usually don't read corners. The only time I look at the corner is when I want my guys looking at the corner is when they're ready to get off the ball on the tempo. But we read safeties for coverage because to me, corners are like women. They're going to lie to you. They're going to show you that they're pressed and they're going to bail. They're going to be back and then come back and try to jam you. They're going to act like they're pressing and they're going to shimmy back. So that's a big thing for us as far as in your stance. That's where you get that. And then tempo. Tempo is where you set that tone. And we talk about playing with intensity. And then yaks. Yaks is the end of it. And yaks is the possession receiver is not a compliment. I'm really not big on a player that, when I watch highlights and I see a guy making all kinds of unbelievable catches and all that good stuff, either his quarterback is not consistent enough or he's happy with just getting what he gets. I like guys around me that's going to be able to get me more than what he can get, because it's hard to score. And so you can see right there, all these things goes into the Ike. So route running. So precise route running, I've broken it. I try to say less as far as, initially, I talk about that like that's first day stuff. really keep it up on the board. Every time you go in, you see it. But then we start talking about the fun stuff. And I try not to give the guys too much because I want to say less, play more. So running precise routes. This is from our player's manual. So you got the release, it's broken down into three sections. You got the release, you got the burst, and then you got the break point. The biggest thing is that on the break point, we're talking about top of the route. There's no fooling the quarterback. It's important that we don't do that. All right, you want to get to your depth. Make sure that when you set your eyes to the quarterback, that's when you're ready. There's a lot of times you can watch film that your receiver doesn't run to the right depth. He's looking at the quarterback rushes his mechanics, and everybody in the stands is like, man, that quarterback's terrible. But the receiver's not running his route to the right depth, not doing what he's supposed to do. But it's important that we let our athletic ability shine there, right? Releases. I think this is my opinion, I think it's one of the most talked about things, and personally, I think it's talked about, just me personally, I think it's talked about a little bit too much. I know everything starts with the release. However, players only have a certain amount of time to get off, to actually get the play going. Once the ball is snapped, you got 7 to 8 seconds to execute the play. And if you got a 15-yard, 16-yard, 18-yard route, you can't be thinking about a whole bunch of different types of releases that you have. So maybe I'm just old school, but that's just my thought process. So I give guys 3 releases. I tell them blow by, jab, and then burn grass. And burn grass essentially is, I try to make it relative. We've all been in that position where when we were younger, we stood up, we were on the carpet, and we were trying to move our feet really fast, and then we tried to touch somebody and shock them. That's really what burn grass is. And then hand-to-hand combat, I give them 2. I tell them elbow stroke and elbow wrist. And the reason why I say elbow is that if you hit somebody's wrist, the wrist is not a major joint in a person's body to move them. So you're able to hit a person's wrist, and they still can keep their hips where they need to be. That way, cutting you off from your separation. If you hit their elbow, however, the elbow will get that wrist, and you'll be able to get the release that you want. Cat Williams talked about the Crocodile Dundee. I said Crocodile Dundee. I'm sorry. He talked about the crocodile guy. I forget his name. Sorry, apologize. But he said, in his thing, he talked about wait for it. I think that's important. So when you burn grass, what I tell the guys is that most of the time DBs are told to be reactors, but I want our players to be the guys that make the DB initiate the action so that we can react. So you wait for it, you burn grass, you wait for them to reach, and then you get an elbow, and then you stroke it right there. And then some bigger guys, you go elbow wrist. Okay. So breaking down routes, what I've done just to help myself and to help the players, especially in routes, when we have Skelly and team, a lot of times you hear coaches yelling all the time about their depth, about, hey, you rounded that route off, or hey, the different things that even as a player, I just remember coaches yelling at me. I wasn't listening to what he said. However, I try to give, like I talked about, taking the training wheels off. I was doing it before, but really getting that thought process of that is that group them like this outside V cut. If you took a V, which is right here, if you take that V and you turn it upside down, I'm sorry, coach. Is there
no, that was me. That was me, coach. Just letting people know that the chat was open.
Okay. So if you turn the V upside down, sometimes you play with guys that aren't that intelligent and or not even that, not even thinking about bad things, say not intelligent, but hey, 45 degrees, and then you turn around and tell them, hey, that wasn't a 45, that was a 30. Then you both are looking at each other like, okay, well, really, was it not? So I just say outside V cut. They've been writing and drawing V's since they were young. So all that does is show the angle by which at the top of their route, they need to come back out of their route. And I make it really simple. You plant off your inside foot, and this is a stay on the move route. It's a location ball for the quarterback, meaning this. When you do that outside V cut, it's a race to the sideline. That quarterback right now, if he's under center, he's going to go 5 and a hitch, and he's going to throw that bad boy to the sideline. If the DB's on you, he's going to throw it out of bounds. He's going to try to throw it out of bounds, which gets you to the tap and drag. If the DB isn't, then right now he's going to take that thing so you can catch it, and you'll be able to tight rope it. And there's a sideline drill that you'll be able to see in a minute. And all we talk about, location, location, location. So the reason why that's important to know is that when you see the guys come out of their on their comeback, what they do, the guys that I've coached, is after they get to the top of the route and they come back out, you see them racing, and that ball is out. And at the top of the route, I call it samurai. Some people I've heard it say the three-step. I've heard drop weight. I don't teach those things. The reason being, I'm using it now because I coach with Kevin Rogers. He used to have this saying that said, if you thinking, you're stinking. So, and again, going back to what Coach Mann said, the best players are the ones that can anticipate. So I want that player already knowing how he's going to release or what he's going to do at the top of his route at the beginning in his stance when he's played the game. So I don't really teach I don't tell them to say 1, 2, 3 step or anything like that. I love to learn it, but that's what I teach. I teach samurai. The reason why I teach samurai, I always want the guys' eyes up, and what I want them to do, if you ever look at the samurais, when they go to bow, their eyes are always up looking at their opponent. So at the top of the route, you want a samurai. Know that it's a location ball, and potentially you're going to have a tap and drag type. I got to go so we can get some film. All right, so inside V cut is just the complete opposite. You're going to plant with your outside foot, and this is a stay on the move to the quarterback. You're going to show your numbers to the quarterback, and this is an adjustment route. You got to know that when you hear inside V cut, so when I'm doing an install and we're talking about a hook concept, what I would tell the guys, hey guys, this is a 12-yard inside V cut. Boom. They should already know that at 12, at 12 yards, they're going to plant off their outside foot. They're going to stay on the move to the quarterback, and it's going to be an adjustment throw. And they're going to show it, and that quarterback, they got to be ready for any kind of ball. They got to be ready for a take a pitcher ball, which is here. They got to be able for a low ball. They got to be ready for a ball away. They got to be ready for a high ball. And those things, and that should trigger right now when they're in inside V cut. Also, that should also tell them that if they got pressed, they potentially could do the wipe away. And on the wipe away, what I tell the guys is if you ever look at what Michael Jordan did to Brian Russell, it'll never get called. It'll never get called. Put their hand on the hip, and that's the wipe. And then the next part, I say away, and I'm going to show that away basically gets the hands off. So wipe away. And then again, you usually can have those things there on the inside because that shouldn't be there, tight rope, tap and drag. So you can see right here, one of our receivers here in Edmonton doing the take a picture. All right, square in. Square in is basically you're running to your depth. This is a breakdown route at the top. This is a I usually say give them a head at the top, but you say pause, you say pause, you say pause. But Coach Mann, that's a mannerism right there. One of my players went to the Steelers when he was coaching there, and he walked in the meeting, and Coach Mann went in there and said, "All right, you gotta give him some head at the top." And he was like, "Oh, pause." He's like, "Oh yeah, go with it, yeah." But it's really at the top of your route. Here's the deal. The reason why at the top of the route you're going to give it a head at the top is because most DBs are taught to look at your waist. However, most of them are looking at your eyes, and really that's how you get them. That's when you see guys. We tell guys all the time with their steps. If you head at the top and they're looking at you, then right now you'll be able to get the separation that you need. All right. On square ends, what the player should be thinking about, this is a bleed drill potentially happening. But we're going to have a runaway versus man or sit in the zone and throttle. The quarterback knows that as well. Then you have the rollout, all right, rolling off your inside foot, chin on your shoulder, stay on the move. Again, you can have the tap and drag, or you have the tight rope, which leads me to, we also have something called the 200-meter race. All right, so Coach, I gotta get. I don't know why. Okay. So right here is a good look at a rollout. All right. So some guys teach steps. You know, for me, I've been in both offenses. The last couple offenses I've been in, we teach depth. So what I do is I put a cone out there, and I want the guys to roll off that inside foot, put their chin on the shoulder. All right. And usually what I try to do is I try to steal, you know, a tap and drag out of that thing, because you don't get many opportunities to do that. You don't get many opportunities to do that. So there's a good look right there, and you can. I've detailed what tap and drag is on some of those drills drill tapes that I have out there. All right, then the punch route. Punch route is exactly what it is. All right, so punch route should signify you're going to punch with whatever that outside foot is, turn your numbers to the quarterback. That ball should be thrown away from the defender. You should be sudden. That ball could come out fast. All right, and then that's when your finishes, usually we talk about split them or pick them. Split them or pick them, meaning this. Most of the time, you're catching that ball between defenders. So while you're catching that ball between defenders, you're either going to split them or you're going to pick them. And my best analogy on that is this, is that when you about to get jumped, I'm not saying that I've ever been jumped before, but, excuse me. So if you're about to get jumped, then right now, you better pick one dude and you better try to beat the holy crap out of that guy. Try to beat the holy crap out of that guy. And this is a great picture of Greg Ellington here picking him. You know, he's picking him. Right now, he's just trying to run through a guy to get that extra yard. You know, so when they get back together, they're like, man, you got your butt. We always got to jump him. You know, we better not ever be by ourselves. That's essentially what that is. And then roll in. Roll in is for dig and for is usually for deeper digs or any kind of route like that. Chin on your shoulder, stay on the move. All right, in breaking, they're just indicators. The reason why I group these differently, roll ins and roll outs and in break and out breaker, because when you roll in right now, you're probably going to be catching the ball through windows. On the in breaking and out breaking, you're going to plant with a foot, and then you're going to accelerate for 3 steps up the field and to be able to get the ball. Okay? Coach, I'm going to go to that stuff I talked about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. There's some questions there.
Yeah, there was a couple here. One was in regards to how do you teach receivers to use? How do you teach receivers, I'm assuming, to go up against a soft press or mirror motor corner versus an aggressive jam corner?
Oh, awesome. Actually, let's go back into this clip here. I do this, right? Oh, I got to share it, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. You see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, good. So this clip actually, good. This clip actually shows some of that there. We call it the fence. I don't know why it won't go.
If you hit slideshow,
Yeah, that's what I'm hitting. It's not.
Yeah, and then you can hit from current slide. See where it says from current slide.
Yeah.
Now go to the left of that one. One more. Right there.
Oh, you got to. Well, let me just. Oh, it's over here. Sorry. So on this one here, can you see the big screen? Is anything playing?
It's guys releasing from the sideline out.
Okay.
Now you unshared it.
Okay, come back.
Yeah, we can see that, Coach. You could just play it like that. It was actually running pretty smooth before.
Right here?
We could see it.
Okay. Right here you can see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So right here, I call it the fencing. And basically what I tell them is after they burn grass, lead with their front foot. Because what it does, it gives the illusion to the defender that you're jabbing, that you're trying to make a move, and that makes them again be impatient. And then there is a time clock, so I usually tell the guys after 2 shuffles, which you see me do right here, after 2 shuffles, then get on your move, get where you got to get to. So we're actually working that right here because our DBs actually were. Our DBs are actually getting worked a little bit on the burn grass. So they started to show press and they shuffle out, and it was messing up with our guys' heads. So you can see them right here. This is a good example of. I hope that answers the question. Good on that?
Yes, sir. I believe so.
Okay.
And then while you're setting up that other one, Coach, there was another question in here, just in regards to a coaching standpoint. But Coach was wondering if you could speak on your time calling plays in Ottawa last year when there was no offensive coordinator, but you took turns to call. Was this a benefit to your development, or did it hinder you calling plays you might not fully stand behind?
No, I think. I guess I can. For me, it was more of it's a great learning experience. The experience that I had was, I wouldn't change it for the world. More than anything else, I think we all grew from it. Bear with me. Yeah, I learned from it, and you know, at the end of the day, we all agreed on the plays. I'm not gonna point fingers at somebody else and say that, hey, that person was the reason why we weren't able to execute the plays. I just wish that we would have played better. You know. At the end of the day, I talk about team and Coach, do you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I don't see.
Are you when you yeah?
All right. So
Yep.
can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hope I answered the question for that person. All right. So right here, this is essentially the top of that route, what I talked about the samurai. So what Richard Mann taught me is that you have the illusion gotcha step. So you got the illusion gotcha. So the illusion is that step. Illusion is selling like you're about to run the go, and then the gotcha step is the samurai. So what I like to do is I like to do it in slow motion with the players, jog through it so they're able to get the feel. We talked about the skill and get the experience so that it becomes a skill. And then I love these one-man sleds. The reason why I like that is that it allows you to keep your eyes up, and where that cut is there where that cut is there in the one-man sled, it allows you to hit your eyes there. So you can see here, this is just the beginning. It's a simple drill. So this is an old picture. I wonder if it's grainy, but right there, this is Kevin Lockett. And when I was with the Skins, he actually lived underneath me. He's Aaron Lockett's dad, who plays for the Seahawks. And he's the one that kind of also worked with me. Talked about, us working together as a team. But you can see right here that illusion gotcha step, and then coming back down on that V cut, and then catching the ball away from your body as far as shortening the distance. All right, catching the ball away from your body, shortening the distance, taking a picture. Awesome job right there. Here's Tony Gonzalez, same thing. There's the illusion gotcha, the samurai. The great thing about it is that gotcha right there, he doesn't turn until he makes that plant and then comes back. And the biggest thing is this. We talk about yaks, right? Talk about yaks. All the time, you want to have your players, at least for our group, we always want to promote yaks. So here's a good look at Coach Mann. And the older I get, I realize I might be coaching like this. He's just teaching the hatchet here, all right, or the jab route, all right, coming back down your stem. But again, you can see his step, gather step, illusion gotcha, come back down your stem, all right, and then you see Tony Gonzalez right here to do it. Nice job. Nice job. So with our players, all right, this is Slaughter here, same thing. He's running the dig. Illusion got you there on the dig. All right, so right here, what we talk about, so the next phase after they do that, I get them to come back on a V cut. All right, so right here, what I'm simulating is that you don't want to turn. All right, you don't want to turn your body before you make that plant. So that's what I'm simulating there. All right, again with the illusion gotcha. Come back again and show it. And then come back. All right, so this is a good drill, top of the route. So the players, all right, and here it is with the players doing it. What I found is that when you slow this thing down, for the players, man, it becomes muscle memory for them, and now they can do the other things that you're asking them to do. Here it is again. Awesome. All right, and then you change it, all right, with the bag and a cone and get them to come back out of that thing, all right. What I try to do is I try to get them in a 5-yard burst because they're running all the time. Again, trying to get that maximum effort. So this drill right here is after they catch it, we talk about a 200-meter run. All right, 200-meter run. So that's that one. So another, excuse me, another drill that so right here, what you can see on this inside V cut, just a really good job to speed up the field. This is Trey McBride. All right, his eyes, right? His eyes is on that DB. All right, so he makes that stick, and at the top, he does that Michael Jordan, what we talk about, the wipe away. But look at him hit that elbow. All right, you got to be calculated on it. This is an awesome rep. This is an awesome rep. Selling the go. All right, no wasted movement. Eyes on the DB. And this DB he's going against right here with was drafted by the Bears. DeAndre Houston, Carson. All right, so these are two NFL players right here. Trey was drafted by the Tennessee Titans. Great look right here, but look at the end right here. Look at the natural wipe away right there. Very nice job coming back down to the quarterback. All right, so right here, this is called the brother-in-law drill. So on this drill, would be similar to a punch route. This is really good for coaches who want to evaluate when you're evaluating players and you want to see if what kind of players you're going to get as far as in college. I used to, when I coached in college, I did this so the guys could, so I could see how a player did when he didn't have the ball. And I tell them, hey, guy on the far outside, I'm not throwing you the football. I'm not throwing you the football. I'm throwing it to the inside guy, just like you would if there's a play call and that you're going to throw the ball to the other receiver. I want to see what you're going to do without the ball. This is a good example of what we try to do here. All right, looking for the other guy to go try to block. All right, so this is a rollout. Catch the ball here. All right, they're on the sideline, working that tight rope. Again, trying to promote yak. All right, so in this drill, sometimes what I do is I don't throw the ball. I don't throw the ball. And, you know, you don't want to, I talked about confidence, but I don't throw the ball to let them know that, hey, there's going to be times where the running back got the ball. You know, there's a check down. So what I wanted these guys to do here on this rep is to go ahead and turn upfield and try to go find somebody to block. Go try to find somebody to block. Apologize, guys. I had a little difficulty with my film, so I'm kind of like grabbing it from other places here.
Coach, how often will you do that drill?
Which drill?
The brother-in-law drill. How often will you do that?
It's every other practice.
Okay.
Every other practice I try to do it because I do want guys to get balls, you know. But I just got to continue to get it repped in their head. And these guys have done really good. And I'm gonna get to one clip where those guys were able to do that. I'll hurry up here, Coach, please. Man, I'm sorry about the film, guys.
You're good, Coach.
All right, let's just go ahead. I'm gonna go right here. So I talked about the wipe away. Well, here's a drill to advance it with the samurai. All right, get them going. Want to go a little bit faster. This is later on in the season. All right, samurai to a wipe away. All right, and then again promoting yak. Again promoting yak. Samurai to a wipe away and promoting yak. All right. And that's where you got the tray there on that rep. So this is the outside V cut. Same thing, planting and then working to the outside there. Okay. All right, this is a good look right here. So outside V cut in a practice rep. All right, quarterback here taking that ball, throwing it to the sideline. All right, with the tap and drag sexy. All right, as far as time goes, don't really get an opportunity to kind of tell you about that. But again, you see right here, Devontae do a really nice job. Samurai, all right, quarterback knows that throwing that ball to the sideline. All right, very nice job here. Again, here, this is Jack. All right, getting on that back shoulder. Samurai, quarterback throwing towards the sideline. All right, again, just promoting yak. Every chance you get, try to promote yak. All right, so this is a bite route is what we call it. All right, catching that ball right now, getting up the field as fast as you can. All right, this here, I love this drill. This drill right here is the beginning of practice again, trying to steal a samurai, and also the tightrope and sideline drill. All right, the reason why I do this is that you don't get many opportunities for these guys to really work on sideline drills. All right, staying in bounds. Very nice job catching the ball with their hands and then bursting up the field and not stepping out of bounds. See that one there. Okay. A couple more, Coach, and then I'll end it there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so this is from my days at VMI. All right, so this is the guy in the slot right there up top. You watch him here on the bubble. All right, really nice job on the cut block, attacking the outside leg. But you watch him catch the low ball here. But this is a great example of the sideline drill. This is reps of being able to catch the ball and being comfortable on the sideline drill. Right? But the big thing about it is, as you saw in the drill before, those guys, they were keeping their eyes upfield, all right, as they were confident enough to know where they were. So this is a really good rep, especially when you see it from the end zone. You watch James' eyes right here. He catches it, and right now he's not worried about the defenders. He's just putting his foot in the ground. He's running as fast as he can. This guy right here, he'll tell you that he can run a 4.5. He's a 4.7 guy. But something I learned a long time ago, man travels faster than ball. Man travels faster than ball. So if you run a 4.8, you run as fast as you can, all right, because there's a difference between time speed and game speed. Last thing I'll show you is the square end, all right? And talk about head at the top, all right? Break it down at the top, giving a slight jab outside your framework, all right? And then head, boom, head. But the big thing is always moving your arms, always moving your arms. Again, you see that I didn't throw the ball here. I didn't tell him I didn't throw the ball. But one of the reasons why I do this is that I want you, that like my mama used to say, well, actually my dad used to say when I left, he was like, hey, my mom used to say, hey, you know, make sure you don't get in trouble when you go out there. My dad would say, hey, you just make sure you pick better friends. Meaning, do what's right when nobody's watching, right? So that's one of the reasons why I do this right here. I want you to go ahead and finish that rep. Finish that rep. Finish that rep. Really nice job. Really nice job by these guys here. Okay, we'll run through this here. So this is the change up to that. When you got the bang, one thing I teach the guys is that keep your eyes upfield where you're going, so the DB then turns his eyes to the, because anytime you run any of these type of routes, the DB is trying to attack that upfield shoulder, all right, and he's trying to get an interception. So if your eyes are set the way that I'm setting it here, all right, gives you an opportunity to bang back out. All right, so you see right here, receiver here, decent job coming back out. All right, anytime you do this, it's called the climb. This is the 2x2x2 rule. All right, this is the 2x2x2 rule. And what I believe in my time as being a punt returner is that in order for you to make a really good move on a defender, is that you got to make a move 2 yards away from the defender, okay? 2 yards away from the defender, because for every step you take, the defender takes 2, and then rip, all right, for 2 hard steps up the field. All right, so that's the 2x2x2 rule. And what we call this drill is called the climb. All right, and that's what these guys are doing here with your eyes upfield. Nice job there. All right. So again, put the cone there to give him a landmark, and then move the cone. All right. And then move the cone. This is a really good rep. All right. Watch sneeze here. Right. So he's 2 yards away. 2 yards away from the defender. He makes that stick. Now, this is a little technique they were trying to use instead of the elbow rip. They were trying to do a complete wipe away, which I again let the players play a little bit. But you see him, the 2. There's the 2, and when he makes that step, for every step you take, the defender takes 2. Watch him make the step, boom, and watch the defender. 1, 2. All right, and then 2 more steps up the field, and then head at the top. Very nice job on his rep there. Here it is, full speed. Nice job. Nice job. All right, that's just some other guys doing it there. Sorry, I'm moving. I saw the time. All right. So this is what we're talking about, playing the game right here. All right. This is Flynn. He's seeing the defender. He's got a little shade outside. He still makes that step outside. All right. Tight turns. All right. Then he's going to sit in that window. There's the throttle right there that we talk about. All right. You can see it here from the end zone. See that stick? Boom. There's the 2 steps. Watch it. There's the 2 steps. Push back vertical, tight turn, quarterback throws it. And here's a great example of you're going to split them or pick them. Split them or pick them. All right. This is another good rep here. All right. So we saw this young man here earlier. Awesome job. Awesome job. He knew he had him. I asked him about this rep. I said, man, how'd you know you had him? He said, coach, my man was looking right in my eyes. So all I did is I went big eyes and I went head at the top. Watch him. He goes off the head. Boom. Awesome job. Awesome rep. All right, here it is. Here's the changeup, right? So we run a couple of those square ends. So now the DB's heavy inside. Nice. Nice. Great job. Great job. That's where you come back out and then promote yak. Promote yak. Promote yak. This right here, all right, we've been running comebacks. We've been running outside V cut. Every time we get to the top of our route on outside V cut, all right, we've been doing our illusion gotcha or our samurai. All right. So this is where you can start playing the game. Right here. He was heavy shade inside. He knew that he had a dig route. Usually when we run our dig routes, we're rolling in. But now you can play the game. Now you can add different things to the game here. This is a great rep of pushing vertical with your eyes. Look at him staring at the DB. Breaking down, boom, head at the top. When does the DB move? He moves on the head. Awesome job. There's a step on the outside right there. For every step you take, the defender takes 2. Your step needs to be a step, and then the next one needs to be a full speed rep. Awesome rep. All right. All right, coach. Guys, I appreciate it. I think my time is up there. If the questions there, coach? Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions for Coach, please drop them in the chat. I know we got to a few of them before, but if anybody else has any more questions, definitely drop them over there. Coach, do you mind putting up your contact information, whether your Twitter handle or email, if anybody has any follow-up questions for you? I like that brother-in-law drill a lot, man.
Yeah, it's been really good for me. Let me pull it back up. I think it's awesome. You know, I was going to show that. Do I have a second to show that rep?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me actually do that right now. Sorry about the film, man. It's great. Great how it works, huh? All right. Let me pull it up. Can you see it?
No. You gotta share it again. There you go. Yep.
Oh, this is an awesome rep. Absolutely love this rep. So watch the two guys up top. Again, I just believe that, you know, football plays nothing but the extension of football drills. So right here, watch the two guys up top. Again, you know, we could go off waggles in the CFL, but once you hit the line, the play is the play. But you see the receiver here make this catch. Watch the receiver up top. Here's the brother-in-law drill going to effect. That's some good stuff right there.
Mm-hmm.
Go help your boy. You know? So those are great opportunities right there. That right there is where, you know, sometimes in film you hear the guys yell, "Brother-in-law," or "That's the drill. That's the drill." You know, so that was a good rep right there. Of that. All right, let me pull up that thing you asked about. Are you able to see it there?
Yes, sir. Yeah, guys, this is contact information there.
All right. Yeah.
So if anybody has any follow-up questions or you know, just wants to chop it up a little bit, his stuff is right there, man. And you know, make sure you get on that. Definitely some really, really awesome stuff. A lot of really cool concepts. You know, very unique with how you call certain things. I thought that was really cool too. A lot of stuff I've heard for the first time. I mean, you know, as everything is kind of universal in a sense. I mean, you know, it's similar, you know, stuff that people teach, but you know, you call it differently. I think that's really cool. I've never heard certain things called the way you called it, but
Yeah.
I like it.
You gotta remember that we didn't invent football.
Yeah.
Football will be here when we leave. So
no doubt.
At the end of the day, it's just, you know, getting little nuggets on how you can say things. For me, I just try to get things that are relative to the guys that they've already done. That's the way I was able to learn from Richard Mann. So, but I appreciate you having me, and I appreciate the guys that took time out of their day to listen.
Absolutely.
So I will say that coach's choice. If anybody wants that discount, there's a lot of good things on there. I bought some myself, but I'll get you the link. Just hit me up and go from there.
There you go. Right, no, absolutely, Coach. I appreciate it, man. Thank you to all the coaches who jumped in today and caught this great session. And once again, man, just a huge shout out to Coach October for coming on and spending some time with us this afternoon. Really appreciate that, Coach.
Yeah, thank you. Be safe, everybody.